This is the continuation from part one. This is part two of intermittent fasting. Spice life. And also, too, the apple cider vinegar, drink help as well because that helps your guts. That really heals your gut. So I didn't do it every day, but on those days that I was struggling, I was struggling. That hunger was
Okay,
just,
yeah.
that hunger had me. I had to do something, but I wanted to keep to, the plan. So I was determined to keep to the plan. So those were some of the options that I had, back in the day, back in 2014.
Yeah. So person may ask, what can I eat? What's going to help me? You saying don't eat too much. What can I eat? So here's some of the things. Again, this is from the research material we spoke about earlier. It says during a time when you're not eating, first of all, of course, you can do water or some sort of 0 calorie beverage or like a black coffee or tea. That's permitted. I know you mentioned the bulletproof tea is different. I mean, coffee. It says during your eating periods, eat normally. Eating normally does not mean going crazy. So when you're eating, don't lose your mind. We talked about that. Research shows that you're not likely to lose weight or get healthier if you pack your feeding times with high calorie junk food and supersized fried foods and all these items and treats. Okay, don't make that a pattern. It's not saying you're never allowed to do it in life, but don't make that a pattern. So what is some of the things that is recommended that you can enjoy? So you do want to look at good foods, healthy foods, nutrition, which you probably do anyway, hopefully. But it talks about like a Mediterranean diet, like I guess like a South Beach or something like that, or similar.
Well, yeah, Mediterranean. Yeah.
Some of the things it talked about was, and you can give me some of the things you were going to say there. Pick like leafy green, healthy fats, lean proteins, and complex unrefined carbohydrates such as whole grains. So if you start looking at stuff and it has a bunch of fancy, unpronounceable words that you've never seen before, you might want to proceed with caution. And then you can talk about some of the foods and maybe even some of the benefits that you've experienced with that. And it talks about here.
Yeah, so it says research shows that the intermittent fasting periods do more than burn fat. Matson explains, when changes occur with this metabolic switch, it affects the body and brain. One of Matson's studies, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, revealed data about a range of health benefits associated with the practice. These include a longer life, a leaner body, and a sharper mind. Many things happen during intermittent fasting that can protect organs against chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, age-related neurodegenerative disorders, even inflammatory bowel disease, and many cancers, he says. Says here are some intermittent fasting benefits research has revealed thus far. Now, thinking and memory. Yes, I can attest to that. It says studies discovered that intermittent fasting boosts working memory in animals and verbal memory in adult humans. Yes, I can agree with that.
So how would that connect? And it talks about cognitive skills, but when you're overeating, when you have high fat, high cholesterol, don't stay hydrated, that can cause brain fog. It can cause circulation issues, and circulation issues affect, as Angela's going to talk more about the heart, but it also can affect the circulation of your brain, your nerves. And so and when you start getting that cleared up, improve that, you can think better. So that's why I'm saying it improves your thinking. And if you improve your thinking, it also is connected to your memory as well.
Oh, yeah. And it talks about heart health. Intermittent fasting improve blood pressure and resting heart rates, as well as other heart-related measurements. So yeah, you brought up that, which is true. Now, that was one of the things that I had to improve back in 2014. I was overweight. I was like way overweight. My blood pressure was up. I had some what do you call it? Cholesterol issues. My A1C was borderline. So when I started with the keto and the intermittent fasting, those numbers improved dramatically. I felt good. And the blood pressure, I'm telling you, when your blood pressure is up, I don't know, but I just felt like the body just puts you in under stress, just for up. I felt the tense. I felt the heart, just the tightness in my chest. Um, I mean, it was very interesting, just to experience that. So those that are dealing with the blood pressure, yeah, you definitely will have some improvement with that.
And believe it or not, it's all connected. Somebody may say, well, man, I'm always tired. How am I going to be active? How can I exercise? I mean, I can probably start working on the food thing, but believe it or not, it's all connected. So if you start there with how you eat, start changing your diet, then maybe start working into it, like how you would do it, intermittent fasting, take little breaks in how you eat. You'll find that you'll have more energy. Hopefully, if you don't have to take a lot of pills or something that makes you drowsy, but normally you'll find you're getting energy. You'll see this newfound energy. That's where you say, okay, let me use this energy and get active, because you can have energy and be sedentary, but if you use the energy to be active, now it's getting a cycle of connection. You're using the energy to be active, you're burning your calories, you're going back, you're eating the right way, you're doing your intermittent fasting, and then once you get to a point, say, okay, I'm gonna stop here, do a normal eating, and then start back over again. And that's kind of how it was. But it that connected to that, I think Angela's going to mention the performance, how you are physically.
Yeah. It says physical performance with young men who fasted for 16 hours showed fat loss while maintaining muscle mass. Mice who were fed on alternate days showed better endurance in running. Yep. So I'm going to say this too in regards to physical fitness. When I first started with the walking, when I first started walking, this was 2014 too. It was hard, but I know I had to get out there and do something. But the main reason I first started, this was before I even started keto or intermittent fasting. I was walking, but I was walking for stress relief. I was walking, because I would take breaks to go out to walk to help with stress or anxiety. I had some health issues going on too, so I didn't know. So I said I need to get some sunshine. I need to get out here and feel better. But when I walk, I'm telling you, I had the lower back pain. But I'm going to say, for those that have pain when they're walking and you're just starting out, don't give up. I worked my way up. Like I'll do 10 minutes and then I go back, and throughout the day, I'll just do little increments of 10 to 15 minutes of walking. But when I just did walk only, I didn't change my eating. I didn't notice much of a weight loss until I started changing what I ate. And then that's when you talk about the physical performance got better. I started walking. The pain went away. I started walking longer. And I not only walked longer, but faster. So over time, it got better. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So
Very
next one thing is, oh, you're welcome. It's type 2 diabetes and obesity.
Yeah.
So, it says in animal studies, intermittent fasting prevented obesity. And in 6 brief studies, obese adult humans lost weight through intermittent fasting. People with type 2 diabetes may benefit. And most of the available research shows that intermittent fasting can help people lose body weight and lower their levels of fasting glucose, fasting insulin, and leptin, while reducing insulin resistance, decreasing levels of leptin, and increasing levels of adipose whatever that is. I can't pronounce that. That is too hard. And it says certain studies found that some patients practicing intermittent fasting with supervision with their doctors were able to reverse their need for insulin therapy.
Wow.
Amazing.
It can literally make you healthier.
Yeah. But I was going to say too, when I saw,
I didn't even know it can do that either. Tissue health.
yeah, tissue health. Oh, okay. Yeah. It says in animals, intermittent fasting reduced tissue damage in surgery and improved results.
So that was some study they did on that. So there you go. So you have to decide for yourself what's good for you. You have to make the right decisions, and you know your body and all those kind of things. But go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. And just like I was mentioning before, everybody is different. Their body is different. We're on different schedules. We eat different foods. We are just different. Our brains are wired differently. So I would highly suggest if that you tailor your eating or the plan to you. I noticed that when I was just trying to do what everybody else was doing, I it became difficult. And then I read something one day from a post that said, "Hey, I noticed that people say, well, I do it like this, and I'm not changing it." Or let's say this: "Oh, I'm used to having coffee in the morning with my creamer. I don't care. I need the coffee." Because some people say, "Well, that creamer, you're not fasting because that creamer has this and that," but they didn't care. Well, the alternative to that was like a coffee that had nothing in it, like no calories. You have to get the sugar-free this, sugar-free that. But some people can't take the sugar-free. That coffee is just not the same. So they have to do some little different things to tailor it towards themselves, Right. So don't make it too hard on yourself. It can work. You can make it work.
Yeah. Yeah, you can make it work. So just to kind of transition into
into the what? Okay, Christopher's looking at me, scratching my hand. You think I'm pointing at something?
I'm sorry. That's on me, guys. So it's just reiterating and stressing, because I don't want to get too bogged down with all that, but it's just reiterating and stressing the importance of making sure that you try to talk to your primary care practitioner. Mm-hmm. That's what Williams, one of the doctors here, said. Because this is the bottom line.
Go ahead.
This is the bottom line. It says some people, they absolutely should just steer clear of it. They shouldn't do it at all. Because of health reasons. That's why we keep putting emphasis on making sure you check in. And everybody would love to probably say, "Oh, I tried," but they may even give you an alternative. So that's why it's important to do that, especially if you're already going to your doctor for other health reasons. And it talked about certain people like children and teens under 18 or women that's pregnant, that are going through pregnancy. Also, it talks about with people with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah.
Take insulin.
Yeah, those are the ones that are really need to. You have to get the permission from your doctor because type 1 diabetes is no joke. So yeah.
Also, those with a history of eating disorders, and they can be at one extreme. Or someone said, "Well, what kind of eating disorders?" Anything that's extreme. So someone that can be extremely eat a lot and obese, or someone that does things that they shouldn't, are extremely underweight.
Yeah.
And there's a disorders on both sides that usually cause those extremes. So stop everything you're doing and definitely get the help you need. You may need more than just a regular doctor. That may be a psychological doctor getting involved to help with the mental, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Well.
Oh, it's gone? It was in May? It was in May. Oh, okay. Man, June came so
Yeah.
fast.
So
That's right.
we
We in the second week of
oh,
June. My
speaking
bad.
of,
May was mental health.
so he mentioned if you haven't watched our, well, we got a 3-part series. I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
3-part series about mental health. So go check those out. We did them in
yeah.
May.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, those are very important. But back to the eating disorders. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an eating disorder, and as you know, in most diets, they tell you to, if you have an eating disorder or history of an eating disorder, you want to notify your doctor before you start this, because um, either they could be they could say do it, but I want to supervise you with it on it, or they could say, hey, I don't advise you to do this. Get the help of your physician first before, because this, I mean, you don't want this to trigger
And
anything
it's
for you.
there. Those are the reasons. Some of the reasons of why you would want to do that.
All right. It says, you want me? Okay. It says, keep in mind that intermittent fasting may have different effects on different people. Talk to your doctor if you start experiencing unusual anxiety, headache, nausea, or other symptoms after you start intermittent fasting.
So those are like
Say
red
that. Say that
flags.
3 times.
Those are like the red flags you should pay attention to. Somebody may say, well, when do I know? Well, first of all, you should talk to them anyway. But those are like things that should definitely like, oh. So don't take it for granted. If you have a headache, you may say, oh, I have headaches sometimes. But if you're doing it or it's happening during the intermittent fasting, don't take it a little bit more seriously. Pay attention to it. Things like that.
And I was thinking too, the times that I had headaches, I was not drinking enough liquids.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to make sure that my electrolytes were at normal level, because this is the thing too, when I was on keto is a diuretic diet. So because the glucose, and that's the thing, when the glucose stores deplete, you're going to be using the bathroom more, So you're going to be depleting the cells of the glucose stores, right. And you're going to need to replenish your body back with the electrolytes. That's important, electrolytes. So yeah, the headaches
is
meaning something.
You up? No, I'm just like, go.
So the headaches, all these are just signs of something, the body is missing something. So, you need to, if it's real bad, you need to attend to that. Make sure that you're, not just taking medication to stop the headache. Wait a minute, I got a headache. I may need to do this, or I may need that. The body is signaling something, for something.
Yeah, I think this is the bottom line in my opinion. Just do it. If you clear all those things, got all those things clear, all the things we told you to watch out for. And once you do it and you're comfortable with doing it, make sure, again, routine and stay focused. And if you get a little sidetracked or, oh man, kind of get up, just don't worry. Don't beat yourself up. Get back on it as long as you feel comfortable doing it and listen to your body. I think you'll be happy with the results and things that you get out of it. And I've seen it work. I've seen it work for myself, but I've even more just because I can look at a visual, seeing it work for you, Angela.
Yeah. And what
mentally, I seen you were different too. Like, oh no, you're good now. I'm not saying, but like during that time, mm-hmm. I can see how I can see how you felt, and just the energy and the mentalness and the communication. I could see the positive effect it was having.
Yeah, it really helped me. And I lost a lot of weight in a short period of time. And when you see that scale moving, it does help. But because I'm short as well, the weight, any little amount of weight that I lose,
short
it shows it. You can tell a difference. Yeah. Well, I can say I'm petite.
It's a state of mind. Yeah, petite.
I'm petite.
Because there are some people that look and like, don't you talk taller than me?
Yeah. We'll say I'm in the petite range. Yeah. But yeah, I did feel good. And also I was determined to do this. I was determined to lose the weight. And I made sure that if there was something that was that I had a problem with, that I resolve it my way. I'll look and see how other people resolve it, but I'll like for example, I know some foods. I know. I mean, I'm from the South. I grew up on soul food. There's some people just eat so much broccoli. I didn't grow up eating a lot of broccoli. Keto. I'm on keto. That was. I mean, I like broccoli, but I didn't grow up eating a lot of broccoli. So if I if I see a lot of people eating a bunch of broccoli and cauliflower and all that, I'm like, okay, I can have string beans, I can have collard greens, I can have this and that. And some people, yeah, I started off um, breading my chicken with the put rinds, but then I ended up just eating regular fried chicken. It didn't really. So I played around with this one. Some things that you can do. Some people's bodies, uh, the effect of food is different. My bodies was used to the fried chicken, the fish. I mean, as long as I didn't overdo it, I just ate in regular portions. I still lost the weight and I still stayed in keto, you know, because of the intermittent fasting. So the intermittent fasting, because you think about it, when I ate those things, then when I started fasting, the body depleted, the glucose store, and that's why I was able to stay. I have a feeling that I was able to stay into ketosis even once I um kind of weighed off the keto diet, but I still intermittent fasting, if I could say that
Mhm.
3 times. But yeah, it's very important. There are so many different things. But I was going to say too, it mentioned too, some people, they will not eat for, they're, won't eat for days, or one day they'll skip a day of eating and then continue on with, I mean, they'll go whole day, without eating. So those are some options. Those are more advanced fasting. Also, there is a 20/4 intermittent fasting. That means you're fasting 20 hours and eating 4. That's pretty much like OMAD, 1 meal a day. Now, I've done that several times as well. So I think that was beneficial. And you've done that too.
Yeah, yeah, I've done that too. And again, it still have to be careful not to go for the fast food, things like that, because all that's going to automatically happen is that it's going to use if it's not being used, that all that cholesterol, fatty food, sugary food, it's just going to automatically make more of it fat. And it's harder to burn. You got to almost force your body to, okay, I'll release it. And you got to find the energy to even walk or run and do things like that. Whereas if you're already eating the lean meats, you're already eating
Mm-hmm.
the broccolis and the leafy vegetables and have that kind of diet, two things is happening. You're energizing your muscles. That's why a lot of those Marvel people, and all those people that have to work out for movies and stuff, they get on that immediately because it's going to energize their muscles and they keep their bulk, and then they just eat a lot of it and they don't lose a lot of muscle. They lose some fat, which is what they want to lose. But in our case, we want to lose fat, but we're not trying to bulk up our muscles. So we're going to lose overall, we're going to lose weight.
Yes. And most importantly, not the muscle mass. If you lose the muscle mass, that means that
Well, if it depends, like where you are now, yes. But if, let's say, for instance, you were like a Heinzworth or something,
yeah.
you may want to say, I'm not trying to keep all this weight on me. So that muscle mass, you want it to go down, but you don't want it to turn into fat. You want it to go away completely. So where we are now, like Angela said, we don't want to lose, our muscles that we got. So that's, again, why the lean meats, the green leafy vegetables, keep your muscle mass
Mm-hmm.
and focuses more on burning your fat.
All right. So to sum this up, Christopher, maybe we should tell them where we are now. What are we doing? What are our plans now? What is our plan now? What are we
Well,
doing now going forward?
recently, like you mentioned earlier, we've been doing the OMAD, where we were intermittent eating, but we kind of transitioned out of that a little bit. And we're doing more than the 4 hours. We're doing 8 hours and things like that. The focus now is to get better with what we eat and start getting on a routine of what we eat, and then stay on the routine of our activity, which of course we're active and we do a lot of stuff, but the main one is making sure we do walks. And we are trying to increase those walks. Instead of just doing a couple of miles, we want to get it to 3 to 4 miles average. And those things. So if you start seeing yourself stagnate, just slightly increase the things you're already doing.
Yeah. Also, he mentioned routine, which is so important. You know, if I'm getting up in the morning, what's going to help me with the routine is making sure that I know, even though I'm not going to eat anything, fill up my water bottles, make sure I'm hydrated, stay hydrated. So that is very key. That water is so key. If you're not getting in that water, you're going to be hungry really quick. You're not going to, if you're not getting enough water, I don't know how you can survive on an intermittent fasting plan. So, because sometimes they say when you're feeling hungry, drink some water, because sometimes the water, the body's craving water, but you feel a hunger pain, but it's really, you need to drink some water. So if you're filled up with water and just, hang in there tight till your feet hit window, keep your mind occupied. And that's what we're doing as well. So just like Chris mentioned, we did the 20/4 for a few weeks. We did it for several weeks, and now we're kind of transitioning to our 16/8, which to us, when you do that, go from a really strict one to like something it makes it a little easier. The 16/8 easier.
I was thinking about what you said when you said keep your mind occupied. So that's a good example, and you just mentioned it not too long ago, and I mentioned it earlier. But people, if you keep your mind occupied, if you let's say you say, oh man, what to do? Instead of thinking about eating something, which is what we usually would do, whatever, I'm not going to tell you specifically what to do. Could be walking, maybe late at night, and maybe early in the morning, but whatever it is, find something. Say, okay, let me burn some calories. Let me be active in it. If you're bored, as it were, find a hobby or something like that. I would say if you're stressed now, read or have a good conversation. Find something to kind of get you in a positive state. Be around encouraging people. Like your mate or our friends and things like that. But I'm talking about use the board time if you can, or that time where you may not be doing anything. Finally see if you can be active. If can't, you're not, then go to sleep, get your energy back, and then wake back up if that's the case. But just if you can be active, try to burn some of those calories.
Yeah. Also too, I noticed too when we walk, because sometimes we'll start eating after we walk, or before or whatever, but you're not hungry. Sometimes before I walk, I'm like, oh, I want to eat. I'm sure I'm hungry, but let me go for a walk. But when we go for a walk afterwards, I'm okay. So I'm like, because after a walk, think about it, I'm drinking water.
And there's few times where I felt bad. Like I feel good after a walk.
Yeah. Like
both of us always agree, like after a walk, we always have good conversation, but also we don't feel like, man, I feel awful now. We feel good.
Yeah.
So that's another thing about walking. Like you're saying, you don't come in there like, I can eat a horse now.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to get back. Well, actually, we never got to our goal weight. So this is the time we're going to get to our goal weight. That is, we
do another journey. Keep you posted.
We have to. We got a little sidetracked, but for good reasons though. Sidetracked. We got a little busy, but we're going
to do it
to get there.
Hold ourselves more accountable.
Our way.
It's going to get done.
Yes.
We're going to get her done, as it were.
We're making some progress, and we know that you can do it too. You can do it too. So don't forget to follow our pages. You can be, motivated by our walks and things that we're doing, our posts. Instagram, the Instagram name is spice.oh.life. That's Instagram. So also on Facebook, spice.oh life. Or if you are if you're watching us on YouTube, just click on one of those links.
Yeah, you can download it off
details.
Of podcast or Spotify, whatever. You can download it.
Yeah, or you can go.
Or whatever.
Or in the description or details, if you see, you'll see a link to us or our website. Yeah. So follow us.
So we hope this helped you guys. We hope the best for you. Stay focused, stay strong, stay spicy and spiso.
Yeah. Oh. Come on, let's get it. Come on, go.
This has been the Spice O Life with Christopher Graves. Chris,
I'm not finished. Life.